from Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, May 16th, 2022. We'll start with temperatures here across Western Canada. Warmer in the west, cooler in the east, where temperatures are in the single digits, a few degrees above zero. Get all the way into the mid-teens as you make your way back toward the west, southern Alberta, southwest Saskatchewan, into central portions of Alberta there, a bit on the warmer side. We'll look at precipitation over the last 7 days. Of course, we brought another big storm system in here that dumped a couple of inches of rain across portions of south, eastern and eastern portions of Saskatchewan, and then down into central and southern portions of Manitoba. Flooding continues across these areas, and unfortunately, we're going to keep the active pattern going over the next 5 to 10 days. We've got a couple weather makers here, a couple precipitation makers to talk about this week. That'll be good news for some folks, again, in the west, where we still need some moisture. We'll get, at least chances. Again, that's been the theme over the last couple of months here. The heavier precipitation events, the soakers, have been across the eastern Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba. That's where we've seen, no drought discussion. We're talking about flooding in these areas here, where we're seeing a lot of standing water, a lot of rivers that are above their banks. And then again, you head off to the west, it's a different story here. Western portions of Saskatchewan into southern Alberta, where we still have some extreme drought in place across the region. So again, active pattern here. Good news for some, kind of annoying for others here across the prairie. We'll take a look at the satellite picture here. We can pick out the pattern. Again, I mentioned it was warmer in the west, a bit cooler in the east. The reason for that is a jet stream pattern does something like this. We've got a departing trough right here. We've got a little bit of a ridge in between, and then our next approaching storm system here across the west. So again, warmer across portions of Alberta this morning, cooler temperatures being brought in on the backside of this departing storm system across eastern portions of the prairie. The radar loop here early on Monday morning, we're seeing some precipitation near Highway 16, generally across central Alberta into west central Saskatchewan. This is again early Thursday morning, some light showers kind of lifting in advance of our next approaching system. We'll take a look at the NAM model, the forecast here over the next several days as we get the week started, and what we've got to look forward to. This is as we get going here on Monday morning. Again, light showers generally near Highway 16 across central Alberta into west central Saskatchewan. So the model is off to a good start, has a good handle on Monday morning precipitation. This is as we head into the afternoon today and then into this evening. Pretty quiet start to the week. We're talking about those light showers generally just continuing near Highway 16. As we head into the overnight and then on into Tuesday, we'll see that precipitation continue to lift north of Highway 16. This is as we get into, your time is up here. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Starting to see some of those showers dip down into portions of central Manitoba. So if you're north of Winnipeg in the Dauphin area, north of Winnipeg, maybe some showers here as you get into Tuesday evening. The bigger precipitation maker emerges here late Tuesday into Wednesday. This is as we get into early Wednesday morning, sunrise Wednesday morning. We start to see from the west our next storm system here. This one now Wednesday night, then taking it into Thursday morning. You can see the circulation of that storm system here, the counterclockwise anticyclonic circulation there as the storm system moves across the region. Let me take that back and show you the timing once again. So here we go. This is, computer's running slow here. Bear with me. Let me get this to reset the loop. Am I going to get that to happen? It does not look like I am. Sorry about that. We'll talk about it more in detail with the European model, I promise. Here's what you got, though. Between Monday and Thursday afternoon, much of the heavier precipitation near and north of Highway 16. South of that, we're going to have some opportunities for precipitation, much of that late Tuesday into Wednesday, but certainly going to be on the lighter side as you head further south toward the U.S. border. We'll compare the NBM on the left with the European model on the right. Both of these now Monday through Thursday. You see a similar look. The heavier precipitation here kind of converging on the Alberta and Manitoba border. This is from that midweek storm system. Then you see the lighter precipitation as you head off toward the south across southern Alberta into southwestern Saskatchewan. And then, disagreements on the total amount here. The national blended model, the NBM on the left, this averages out a few models, so we're kind of smoothing out the detail. What I think you can gather from this is that we're talking about pockets of heavy rainfall from the midweek system. It's not going to resemble the last few that we've seen lift out of the Dakotas into portions of Saskatchewan and Alberta that have dumped 2, 3, 4 inches of rainfall across a widespread area. This is going to be a bit of a different flavor. Got a system kind of ejecting from west to east across the region. I would expect narrow corridors of heavy rainfall, pockets of heavy precipitation, generally 5 to 10 millimeters here elsewhere, away from those heavier pockets. And what we can also infer from both of these models here is the best chance for those pockets of heavy rainfall going to be here across the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border, southeast Saskatchewan into maybe southwest Manitoba. Now, as we drag it out through the entire week, this is the European model still. We're just taking it, instead of from Thursday, we're taking it all the way through Sunday, May 22nd. Pretty similar look here. As we get these midweek systems out of the way, it's going to be rather quiet Thursday, Friday, but we have a potential next wave moving in here, which we're going to discuss now as we look at the upper level pattern here, the 500 millibar height pattern as we get started. As promised, departing wave, approaching wave. In between that, we've got some ridging. That's the reason for the warmer temps in the west. So what happens then as we head through the next 10 days or so? Well, here's our midweek system. This is the one that comes in here. You see the initial wave coming through here late Monday, into Tuesday, and then we see the main wave eject here as we get into the middle part of the week. This is when we get the heavier precipitation across this region here as we get into kind of late Wednesday into Thursday. This wave departs. We get a quiet end to the week, kind of in between that. But before we see the next wave, the next organized wave here tries to push in as we get into maybe Monday, Tuesday next week, May 23rd, 24th. We're going to flip it over, though, and look at the ensemble to kind of help, confirm that, but also show you that we do lose some detail as expected as we get out into the, days 5, 6, 7, and beyond time frames. So the ensemble here, we lose a little detail, but same look here as we get started. Trough, ridge, trough across the region. We head on into the middle part of the week. We bring a couple of waves in. The first one here earlier in the week. The next wave comes through here mid to late week. We're, kind of in a bit of a lull on the backside. Cooler but quiet as we see northwest flow coming in on the backside. This is a cooler but quieter and drier look, but we continue to move the pattern along. We're not blocked. We start to kind of reorganize troughing to our west. What we do there is we put ourselves back on the leading edge of that trough, back into the active regime here as we get into May 22nd and beyond. So that makes sense as we look at the next 2 weeks of precipitation. We're looking at the European ensemble model. This is week 1. This is week 2. Week 1 we've talked about in depth. We've got a couple of systems that make their way through here. The best chance for heavier precipitation further to the east across eastern Saskatchewan and portions of southern Manitoba. As we head on into week 2, what I really want you to notice is there's no obvious indication we're going to flip hot and dry. We're going to keep the pattern active. We're going to keep the pattern near average or a little cooler than average. But as we look at the precipitation pattern here, the most active region here are likely going to be the central and eastern United States. But we keep things near average as far as precipitation goes. So I'm using this phrase a lot. What we can kind of gather from that is that we're going to have opportunities for precipitation, but the model is struggling to figure out where those pockets of heaviest rainfall are going to be. So we go ahead and we'll take a look at the European model. This will take us through the mid and late week system that I was not able to show you from the NAM model since my machine kind of froze up there. But as promised, we'll look at it here. Again, a rather quiet start to the week, although we have that light shower activity near Highway 16. The European model has a good handle on that as well. We continue into the day on Tuesday. This kind of subtle first system makes its way into Manitoba. The light shower activity continues along with it. The bigger system ejects here as we get into, this is Thursday. I think I said you'll have a quiet Thursday and Friday. I really misspoke there, and it'll be more of a quiet Friday. The midweek system here still heavily impacting the area as we get into Thursday evening. This is the look there, and then this would be Thursday night getting into Friday morning. Friday morning, the system has mostly departed. Now we've got that cold air coming in on the backside. So quiet and cold as we get into Friday, quiet and cold as we get into Saturday as well. Look at the timing on that one more time. Here's system 1, here's system 2. System 1 sneaks through here Monday, Tuesday. You got your lighter precipitation, and then here comes the next wave. This is Wednesday evening, midnight on Wednesday, sunrise Thursday morning. This is mid-afternoon Thursday. This is Thursday evening, and this is now getting into Thursday night and early Friday morning. So Wednesday night, Thursday into Friday morning. So we're looking for heavier rain, maybe some pockets of snowfall here as some colder air works its way in on the backside, not anticipating heavy snowfall accumulation across the Canadian Prairie. So between now and Saturday midnight, this will be actually midnight on Sunday morning, between now and May 21st, your probability of picking up a half an inch of rainfall or more, half an inch of precipitation or more. The orange and the red shading is where you get down to 80, 90% there. You can kind of follow Highway 16, doing something like that. That's where you're going to have the best chance for the significant precipitation. And then you can move further south there as you get into eastern portions of Saskatchewan, into southern Manitoba. I think this is your location over the next 5 days. Looking at picking up another heavy round of rainfall, another inch or so of precipitation, and of course, where is it that we've seen the repeated rounds? Where is it that I'm seeing all the photos of flooded fields, flooded farms, roads that are, the only route out of town are covered by water? It's right across this region. So again, unfortunately, we keep the rainfall, we keep the active pattern going, and unfortunately, it looks like we'll be talking about flooding and planting delays across this region right here as well, well on into the end of May, perhaps on into June. Of course, where we've been drier, we've still got some opportunities for precipitation here, but with the rain shadow, topography, the storm track going to be working against us as far as getting heavy precipitation into those regions. You can see that here as we flip it over. You're looking at the same time frame, but now you're looking at the probability of getting 1 inch or more. Where's the likelihood of that? Again, that region I just circled, this is where we're going to have the best chance for those heavier rainfall events this week across the southern border of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Where's the probability near zero that you're going to get 1 inch? Right here across southern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan. We'll be on the windy side at times as these waves make their way through. Windier with the midweek storm system. We'll see those winds anywhere from 20 to 25 knots here as the first low makes its way through. You can see the flow around that, the counterclockwise circulation. We'll get this one out of here as we get into Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we get that next low working its way in. This one's going to have a little bit more in the way of winds with it, especially on the backside. As this storm starts to depart on Thursday, you'll really feel those stronger winds coming in out of the north, ushering in some cooler air, perhaps gusting 60 to 75, maybe 80 knots, or 80 kilometers per hour, as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. Your temperatures, again, warmer in the west as we get started. Cooler air coming in on the backside here across the east. We're going to keep temperatures on the mild side in the west for another couple of days, but then as that system works in here mid to late week, here's that colder air that comes in out on the backside here. That's where we're talking about temperatures getting back on the chilly side, anywhere from maybe 5 to 10, maybe 12 degrees below average as we get into Friday and Saturday. We do moderate, though. We keep the pattern moving. Start to bring some warmth in on the backside perhaps here, but you can kind of see the pattern there. Again, what I said that we're not seeing, a flip toward hot and dry. The pattern here, while we lose some specifics heading beyond the weekend into next week, likely going to remain near, maybe a little cooler than average, and likely going to be leaning more active compared to drier than average as we head into the end of May and perhaps beyond into the beginning of June. Calgary, as promised, another couple days of warmth before the bottom kind of falls out here Thursday and Friday. Similar look here, cooler shot of air on Thursday and Friday in Edmonton, Saskatoon. Very similar look here. Temperatures dip down. Thursday, Friday, Saturday going to be your coldest days across the prairie. Here in Winnipeg, a little delayed here, your coldest days Friday and Saturday as you slowly kind of stair-step down and then stair-step back up here as we ride the spring roller coaster across the Canadian prairie.